I'm here at the Mardi Gras fountain along Lake Pontchartrain as part of our revelry in the 2023 Mardi Gras season. Now, it's pretty hard to decide what parades you should go see with so many of them on the list. Well, what we've done here at Big Easy Life is we put together our top 15 parades and tell you why we like to enjoy them. Now, we've put them in the order that they roll, so it'll make it a little easier on you as you track through it. I hope you enjoy. Our first parade that we're going to talk about has already rolled as it's part of the opening volley this carnival. That's Phunny, Phorty, Phellows on 7 p.m. on Friday, January 6th. Now, every year on 12th night, Phunny, Phorty, Phellows, that's with a PH, herald the arrival of Carnival by participating in a Carnival countdown. Afterwards, they load up on a streetcar for a merry ride up and down the entire St. Charles streetcar line. Crowds gather along the track to cheer, wave, and catch the first beads of the Mardi Gras season. It's an event every devotee of Mardi Gras should do at least once. You ought to plan for next year. Yeah,
that's how the recording.
We have done it before. Well, this is coming out in the beginning of January, but right after King's Day. So most people who see this will probably have missed that event. But it is pretty awesome, and it truly gives you an idea of how they kick off Carnival. I think it's pretty interesting. They are the most democratic of all Carnival crews. Did you know that?
Would you mind elaborating? Because I want to learn more about that.
They choose their king and queen in a very interesting way. Much like our previous episode, we'll have a little thing up there about king cakes. They have a king cake for all the men eligible to be king, and a king
whoever
cake
gets the baby is the king.
For all eligible to be queen, and whoever gets the baby
ingenious.
Is the king and queen of Carnival for that year.
I know other crews do that.
I think that's genius. That's just awesome. All right, next up, our choice is Krewe of Chewbacchus, 7 p.m. Friday, February 3rd. This is a 900-member intergalactic Krewe of Chewbacchus. It's a sci-fi themed Mardi Gras parade, as well as a self-described satirical space cult.
Yep.
Chewbacchus consists of over 150 distinct sub-crews, each of which pays loving and sometimes satirical homage to the full spectrum of science fiction, fantasy, horror, and everything in between. The parade consists of roughly 100 contraptions, their words, not mine, which are either pushed, pedaled, or pulled and built onto bicycles, homemade trailers, and shopping carts. The Krewe of Chewbacchus also makes all of its own throws and has created hundreds of elaborately decorated bandoliers, beanbags, frisbees, stuffed animals, and even developed a method for casting their own custom bead medallions. Plus, their mascot is a 7-foot-tall pink Wookiee.
I think a 7-foot-tall pink Wookiee sums up this crew.
Yes.
Pretty nicely.
We have made this one for several years, sometimes on foot. Lately, we've been able to get our pickup truck right close to the parade route and stand in the back.
See everything. Pink Wookiee and all.
What was the last year, I think? There was a group of Mandalorians in drag. So if that's your thing. There is the 504 Brigade, which is our local stormtrooper brigade that was there. You have the Princess Leia's. I don't think I have to expound on what that is. And everything that you could think of in between. If you have even the slightest inkling for sci-fi or satire, you got to catch this. All right, next up, Krewe de Vieux. This is Saturday, February 4th at 6:30 p.m. Now, back in the day, the Krewe of Clones, which was founded in 1978, decided to become more respectable. Mardi Gras crew becoming more respectable.
You go from the Krewe of Clones.
Yes. It was decided to keep the parade's original, raucous, art-inspired spirit alive by starting the Krewe de Vieux. Now, at first, the Ragtag crew had 16 sub-crews and a collection of mule-drawn or hand-pulled, handmade floats. But by 2001, they had its first tidal float, and its membership was growing. Its numerous sub-crews were named things like the Krewe of Crew, C.R.U.
An acronym.
The crew of Lewd.
Also an acronym.
And the mystic crew of Spermies. There's a parade called Hermes. Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
They meet in the Den of Muses, a warehouse space to bring together their costumes and floats. And in 2006, the Krewe of Vieux was the first parade to march post-Katrina and garnered national attention for its tenacity and lightheartedness in the face of tragedy. That year's theme was C'est la vie, as in c'est la vie, c'est la vie. La vie, get it?
Oh.
You got it?
I got it.
Other themes over the years have included Habitat for Insanity and Where the Vile Things Are. You're getting a flavor for their stuff, I'm sure. Today, Krewe of Vieux is loved for its wild satire, adult themes, as you can obviously tell. This is not one if you don't want to explain to the young ones. Political comedy, as well as for showcasing some of the best brass and jazz bands in New Orleans. Again, another one we regularly try to make now that Mr. Blade, a little easy, is a little older, and I don't have to explain what the big sperms on top of people's heads are. So if you're interested at all in
I mean, you don't have to explain. You just explained it right there.
The sperms on people's heads. That's right. So if you're into a really raucous, fun parade to watch, they do not take themselves seriously at all. They are great. All right. Next up is Teeth Rəx. This is Sunday, February 5th at 4:30 p.m. Teeth Rəx is New Orleans' first and only micro crew. It's a new term for y'all.
Which is awesome.
A group of artists, business people, teachers, workers, and bon vivants founded Teeth Rəx in 2009 in response to the super crews constantly setting records for floats, throws, and extravagance in their size.
Their approach? Shoeboxing.
Teeth Rəx takes an opposite approach, focusing instead of on massive floats that take up an entire block. The Teeth Rəx floats are made out of shoeboxes that look like full-size floats. Now,
like miniatures.
Now, for a quick bit of information for those of y'all listening, here in New Orleans and the surrounding area, if you're a kid in grammar school coming up, one of the projects you do every late January, early February
is a Teeth Rəx float.
You're making a float in school. You're making a shoebox float as an art activity in class. We've been doing this for generations, and
now it's the adults' turn.
And now they have taken that thought and pushed it well over the top. The parade's name comes from the Cajun abbreviation of Petit. It's used as a prefix before the name of the smaller or younger of two people who share the same first name. So, as you can say, Rex is the king of Carnival. Teeth Rəx is the little brother.
Yeah.
It is an amazing one to see. You'll see them built out of these shoe boxes with very fancy carriages pulled by RC vehicles.
Adorable. It's also amazing because it's basically float miniature show-offs.
Okay.
It's amazing.
You remember those geeky sci-fi guys in Chewbaccus earlier? Yeah. This is what happens when you let them sport around with little miniature stuff. This is exactly what happens. All right. Next up, the Krewe of Cork. Friday, February 10th at 3 p.m. Now, we chose this as one of the best parades, but I have to be perfectly clear. This is one that we have not made yet. But I read about it and went, how could I have missed this? It was founded in 2000. The Krewe of Cork celebrates food, wine, and fun with a spirited walking parade through the French Quarter, 11 days before Mardi Gras. The crew members wear costumes with a wine-related theme. They toss throws bearing their grape logo and are accompanied along their route by the Wine Police in golf carts. The Wine Police's motto is, go ahead, say it.
To serve and pour.
There you go, to serve and pour. This is one that we want to try to make this year because I can't believe that we have not seen it. Yes, so we will keep you posted on this one. This one could be a lot of fun. And it definitely ranked when I was going through of the ones we thought we needed to see. That was definitely a highlight. Next up, the Krewe of Barkus, Sunday, February 12th at 2 p.m. The mystic Krewe of Barkus isn't like other Mardi Gras parades. This is man's best friend in the center of this parade through the streets of the French Quarter with their humans acting as their escorts. Now, Bacchus was created in 1992 at a meeting of the Margaret Orr fan club. Margaret Orr is the WDSU TV weather anchor. This was done at Good Friends Bar. Barkus is an officially licensed Mardi Gras crew, and your dog can be part of the celebration. Registration information is available on their website. We have done this one numerous times over the years. We have done this as participants, being in the parade. We have gone and watched it. It is always fun. As big pet owners and folks who enjoy it, we're one of those people who have a drawer full of clothes for the dogs. That's right. Then there is another one for the others. So
everyone else shares one.
It just takes you to this whole epitome of everyone included, including your pet. Next up, Krewe of Nyx. This is Wednesday, February 15th at 6:45 p.m. This was founded in 2012. The Mystic Krewe of Nyx is one of the city's largest all-women Mardi Gras crews. It prides itself on embracing women of diverse backgrounds. Their mottos is, friends come and go, but sister is forever. Nyx was the Greek goddess of the night. She was so powerful that not even Zeus dared to upset her. Past Nyx goddesses have included Chef Susan Spicer, singer Peggy Lee, the Dixie Cups, Irma Thomas, the Soul Queen in New Orleans. Nyx's colors are hot pink and black. Their signature throw is one of those things that everybody tries to get. It is a hand-decorated Nyx purse. Now, these ladies work months and months in advance to put together these throws. So they have themes and all kind of intricate beading work they do. They run on the typical St. Charles Parade route, and it's always a great one. Next up is the Krewe of Muses. This is on Thursday, February 16th. Now, this parade follows two other parades that start at 6:45. So if you think the last one was going to be late, this one's going to be
later.
Really late. So this was organized in 2000. The Krewe of Muses is named after the legendary daughters of Zeus. In Greek mythology, Muses were patrons of the arts and sciences, as well as sources of inspiration for artists, poets, philosophers, and musicians. I finally got that out. That took me like 4 takes. Mr. Blade's laughing at me. The parade has become one of Mardi Gras' favorites thanks to its humorous and biting parade themes. Each year, in addition to the year-long philanthropic works, the Muses host a design contest for students in the area. The winner rides as a guest of the crew, and his or her design is turned into a throw cup. Pretty cool. In addition to allowing students to design their own throw cup logos, they also have had children design their masks. Now those duties have been passed along to adults, such as senior citizens and other adults in rehabilitative environments. And their signature throw is the decorated shoes. You will see all kinds of bedazzled shoes.
This is the one people go out of their way to get.
Yeah, now, I mean, between the purses, the shoes, and as we'll
talk about
on,
Zulu's coconuts later.
Yeah, and we'll talk about rolls of toilet paper. They're all kind of signature items that people want to get a hold of. All right, so moving on in the week, we are at the Krewe of Bosom Buddies, Friday, February 17th at 11:30 a.m. Now, again, this is one we haven't made. It is in the middle of a work day for me and a school day. But, well, here we go. Let's just describe it. The Krewe of Bosom Buddies and Breast Friends is a walking crew that parades in the French Quarter on the Friday before Mardi Gras. They were founded in 2013, and they set out to create a laid-back, inexpensive, fun, colorful, and fearless walking crew full of fabulous women and the men who support them. Every year, the crew dresses colorfully in tutus, bras, and hats that reflect that year's theme. Their signature throw are hand-decorated brassieres. Only in the French Quarter will you find something like that. Next up, the Krewe of Tux, Saturday, February 18th at 12 p.m. The Krewe of Tux began in 1969 as a group of Loyola University students. The name Krewe of Tux comes from the name of a now non-existent uptown pub. I can remember spending time there, where two college students decided to start their own crew after failing at their attempt to become flambeau carriers.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
While the group has grown, they make sure to never lose their sense of humor and maintains their Animal House-like reputation. Tux is recognized for its irreverence and satirical floats, including the King's Throne, which is a giant toilet.
Right. It's also known for throwing toilet paper, which at the end looked like a mob of people just toilet papered an entire neighborhood.
This is the parade that epitomizes bathroom humor.
Yep.
They throw
one of their signature throws is a plunger.
It's a scepter. Yeah, the scepter that happens to be a toilet plunger. They have sunglasses that are actually two toilet seats that lift up. Little men in a barrel. Anybody who's old enough to remember, their grandmother probably had one. If you push down the barrel, he pees. They throw those.
They throw a lot of different
a lot of cool
things.
things. So it's a pretty interesting parade. They've had people like John Candy and Eugene Levy have been king of Tux. So they definitely are a top tier one in my mind. And it's also right in the middle of the day, so you can see real well. And they have a lot of great marching groups. The 610 Stompers are in there every year.
Yeah,
they have several great bands. This is one of my favorite ones every year to catch, I think. You know, almost more than the Super Cruise, because you can get so up close and personal with this one.
All their glorious toilet paper.
And all their glorious toilet paper, correct. So that same day, or should I say night, Saturday, February 18th, at 4 p.m. is the Krewe of Endymion. Now, Endymion, a figure from Greek mythology, was a mortal granted eternal youth by Zeus at the request of the moon goddess who loved him for his beauty. It's also the name of one of Carnival's largest parades with 3,200 riders and 81 floats. 81 floats.
That's a lot of floats.
An average parade probably has between 18 and 20 floats, to give you an idea. So,
they're large.
They were founded in 1967, but in 1974, Endymion emerged as one of Carnival's super crews when it added more floats and celebrity guests. The crew's motto is "Throw till it hurts."
Yep, Mardi Gras in a nutshell.
They estimate that they toss more than 15 million throws along the parade route, which ends with a ride through the Mercedes-Benz Superdome for the Endymion Extravaganza. I think for this year, 2023, and the next couple of years, they will be ending at the convention center, not by choice, but because they're doing massive renovations at the Superdome. In recent years, celebrity grand marshals have included Anderson Cooper, Kelly Ripa, Maroon 5, Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, Luke Bryan, Steven Tyler, Pitbull, Casey and the Sunshine Band, and Kiss. That's what I call an eclectic group of grand marshals. All right, as we get closer to Mardi Gras Day, we're at the Krewe of Bacchus. This is Sunday, February 19th at 5:15 p.m. So, early in 1968, the Krewe of Bacchus broke with Carnival tradition by staging a Sunday night parade with bigger and more spectacular floats than anything previously seen. They then decided to have a national celebrity king lead the parade, breaking rank with 113 years of Carnival tradition. Bacchus set out to be the most innovative and intimate crew of the century. Now, with more than 1,600 members and 32 animated super floats. The crew,
Whoa.
And when we say 32 floats, that's
more like several
each
floats,
of those
yeah.
floats have pieces, multiple pieces.
It's more like several floats in a trench coat pretending they're one.
Some of the parade super floats include the Bacca Gator. I know that's one of your favorites.
Gator!
Which is, I can't even remember how many, multiple pieces, 3 or 4 pieces of a float. You have Bacchosaurus, which is at least 3 pieces. The Buccaneer, which is a pirate ship. The Kong family, which is Daddy Kong, Mama Kong, and Baby Kong, pulling one right behind each other. The Bacca Wappa, which
Sounds funny.
It's a whale.
It's a whale.
It's a whale. But I mean, these are all floats that are like 3 tractor trailers long in and of
They're
themselves.
big floats.
The Krewe of Bacchus holds its parade on the Sunday before Mardi Gras, drawing crowds of several 100,000 each year. They end up at the convention center for their black tie rendezvous party of over 9,000 guests. Now, Bacchus is the Greek god of wine. It's been portrayed by celebrities such as Bob Hope, Charleston Heston, William Shatner, Kirk Douglas, Dick Clark, Will Ferrell, Anthony Mackie, Hugh Laurie, Drew Brees, and J.K. Simmons, just to name a few. You know who any of those people are?
At least one.
At least one?
That's all I'm going to get.
Okay. Next up, Krewe of Orpheus. This is Monday, February 20th at 6 p.m. Founded in 1993, the Krewe of Orpheus takes its name from Zeus and... I'm from New Orleans, so I almost called it Calliope. That's what we call the street, but it's Calliope in Greek mythology. Musically inclined son. Founding members include musician and actor Harry Connick Jr. and his father, Harry Connick Sr., who was the New Orleans district attorney for many years. With their first parade in 1994, the crew of 700 members established itself as a super crew. They were the first super crew to allow both male and female riders, so they're one of the few integrated crews. The crew throws include a number of sought-after items, including light-up Orpheus medallion beads. We've gotten some of those in the past. 3 different types of doubloons. And doubloons, we ought to do an episode all along on that. Because
they are the best parade, parade films.
And they really are going out of style. You're not seeing them as much.
No, they're the coolest, common thing you get.
Now with cups and stuff like that being such a big throw, the doubloons have become less. But to me, that makes them even more interesting to get.
Oh, also they throw 4-foot-long dragons. We didn't mention that yet.
That's right.
4-foot-long stuffed dragons.
Notable floats include the Dolly Trolley, the horse-drawn bus that was used in the opening of Hello, Dolly with Barbra Streisand.
Also my favorite, Smoky Mary.
That's right. 6-unit float that looks like a steam locomotive, and it's based on an old original train that ran here in the city. Everyone loves the 3-unit, 139-foot Orpheus Leviathan float.
That has to look awesome.
The first Carnival float to use extensive fiber optic lighting. And, sometimes the night parades can be a little hard, but I tell you what, these 3 super crews, especially Orpheus and all that,
they make a big show of it.
It is a sight to see. I'm sure we're showing you some amazing video on that right now. Over the years, Orpheus monarchs have included Fats Domino, Quentin Tarantino, Sandra Bullock, Glenn Close, Whoopi Goldberg, Stevie Wonder, Lawrence Fishburne, Forrest Whitaker, Brad Paisley, Anne Rice, and Toby Keith. So, again, if I haven't told you who this year's marshals are on any of these parades, that's because
we don't know.
That's right. They hadn't been announced for us yet when we're filming this, so it's a little tough to tell you. If I happen to know, I will throw up a little blip in there.
Maybe they'll announce before the video goes on.
That's right. All right. Next up, we have finally reached Mardi Gras Day. First Mardi Gras Day is the Krewe of Zulu, Tuesday, February 21st at 8 a.m. While the men marched in Mardi Gras as early as 1901, their first appearance as Zulu came in 1909, when William Story, the former city councilman, namesake of Storyville, was king. The year 1915 heralded the first use of floats constructed on a spring wagon using dry good boxes. The floats were decorated with palmetto leaves and moss and carried 4 dukes along with the king. That humble beginning gave rise to the lavish floats we see today.
Zulu is probably most well known for the coconuts. The signature Mardi Gras.
How many do you think you got? 5 or 6 in your room?
A lot of different.
From
they
over
are
the years?
the signature parade.
Yeah. Zulu's honor guard is called the Soulful Warriors, and they have characters including Big Shot, Witch Doctor, the Ambassador, Mayor, Province Prince, Governor, and Mr. Big Stuff. The most famous Krewe of Zulu king was Louis Armstrong, who reigned in 1949. It is always a great way. It is not the first thing that happens Mardi Gras Day, but it is the first parade that we see on Mardi Gras Day. You normally have Pete Fountain's half-fast walking club that walks the route ahead of the parade, but doesn't count as a parade. But Zulu really gets you in that mood for Mardi Gras Day with some of the elaborate setups and things that they do. So well worth it. And it's got such great history behind it, too.
And we've now come to the king of them all.
That's right. The Krewe of Rəx, Tuesday, February 21st at 10 a.m. This is the last parade on our list, and it is almost the last parade of Mardi Gras. Rəx has held more parades than any other organization. They are the origin of many Mardi Gras traditions, including the official Carnival colors of purple, green, and gold, as well as the collectible doubloons and coins. They were the first to do it by Rəx. They were the first to do it in 1960. The crew consists of 600 male riders and parade on the New Orleans Uptown route on Mardi Gras Day, immediately following Zulu. They were founded in 1872. The Krewe of Rəx is, again, the oldest continually operating crew. The city businessmen originally organized Rəx to put a spectacle for visiting Grand Duke Alexei Alexandrov of Russia. Every year, one member of Rəx organization is selected to be Rəx. The monarch of the crew for the year Rəx is always an influential resident involved in multiple civic causes and philanthropic pursuits. His identity is kept secret until Lundi Gras, the Monday before.
So we're definitely not going to know when this goes up.
Traditionally, the mayor hands Rəx a symbolic key to the city. He is king over the city at that time. Now, why should you see Rəx?
Because it's Rəx.
Well, it's Rəx. I mean,
Yeah, that's
rolling
kind of...
since 1872. But also, they use the old floats, which means wooden-wheeled floats. Sometimes they can be horse-drawn. They truly throw back to the pomp and circumstance of an older era. To me, it's a good way to close out Mardi Gras, because I'll tell you, the Saturday and Sunday of parades, like we talked about, Bacchus and Endymion, that's crazy. Those are late nights, and those can be definite full of partying. By the time Rəx passes you,
Everyone's a little tired.
We're winding down, and I think the majesty of Rəx is a good closure to the Mardi Gras season. So I hope that helps you choose the best parades for you to view this year. If you're a beast, you can probably catch all of them, but that seems like a lot of work. If we missed your favorites, tell us which one and why in the comments below, and please subscribe to our channel, like the video, and punch that bell to get notified. And as always, thanks for being part of our Big Easy Life.